Good morning, everybody. This is my Monday. I am so sorry. Ever since I've been sick, my days have been nuts. I don't know what one day is from the next half the time. On Sunday, I knew it was Sunday, and that, or on Saturday, I should say, I knew it was going to be Monday, that I was going to come back on. Saturday night, I got my foot caught in a cord of a fan and took a really bad fall. And so that kind of threw me off. Like, I've been on Tylenol 3 for the pain for the last couple days. But I promised I would come back Monday, so here's my Monday. Happy Tuesday. Anyway, I am hoping I'm going to be back permanently now. I still have after effects from COVID-19 every now and then. It never seems to really, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to leave you completely alone. It still gives you where you get tired, and all of a sudden it's like you can't keep your eyes open for nothing, And then, having had shingles, within days after being told I was now negative for COVID, there's still, like between the two of them, there's still a lot of after effects and migraine headaches and stuff going on. But, it's been a rough 2020, I'll tell you. I can't wait for this year to end. And I don't know if any 2021 is going to be any better or not, because, this COVID, I mean, if you haven't had it, boy, you don't want to, let me tell you. So if they say wear a mask, because all these government officials here in Canada saying, oh, we're now in phase 3, and I was like, I'm not even in phase 1 yet. Like, no way. After what I've been through, I don't care what anybody says. If I wear gloves, if I wear a mask or whatever, I'm protecting myself more so than I was to start with, because I was we were just starting to hear about it here towards the end of March, but for me that was too late, because I had angiogram surgery on the 9th of March, and within a week and a half I had COVID-19. So I got it from the hospital and from surgery, so it was already there in the hospital. They already knew about it, but nobody said anything to me, or I'd have never gone there. But heart surgery turned out well. There's no blockages, no nothing. My angiogram was fine, and I was feeling really pumped about that, really good. That my heart was okay. That wasn't the problem with my breathing, was not the heart. So, and then after I started to, I was so sick with COVID that the breathing is part of the issue of COVID to start with. And I have a problem breathing because my lungs were damaged. And I just kept, during all that time, it was like, oh, it's just part of COVID and it's part of what's normal. But I got to the point where instead of taking my inhalers 2 to 3 times a day, I was taking them 6 to 8 times a day just to be able to breathe. And, that way too much. And that dried my throat out really bad. I mean, COVID does that, gives you a really bad throat, really bad sore throat and a cough. And then with the inhalers on top of it, I had such a dry mouth. I couldn't drink enough to get my mouth to not feel dry. I started putting little spurts of stuff, like a juicy stuff, into my water just to get a flavor going through my mouth, or I would put lemon in it or anything. just to get flavor, or I would drink peppermint tea, and that would help. Um, and that has kind of lingered on, you know, like I still go through that where my mouth is super, super dry. But after I got over all the effects of, well, what we thought was all the effects of COVID-19, right away my lungs stopped working again, and they had to put me back on prednisone to get my lungs to work. And they put me at a really high dose to start with. So I was at 50 milligrams, and then it was tapered down, and they were tapering it down to like 5 milligrams. And I had a really long talk with my GP and wrote a really long letter to my respirologist saying, I'm going to insist that you leave me on 5 milligrams of this medication because it's the only thing that lets me breathe. And I know you guys have had your, you know, well, we don't want you on this too long. And, you know, it's like, but 5 milligrams permanently rather than starting out at 50 and going down to 5, and then 3 to 4 days later having to start at 50 again because I can't breathe again. You don't want me on this medication. I don't want to be on these high doses, so just leave me on 5 milligrams and let's see what happens. And it's worked wonderful. You know, I have had, that's why it's like, I'm coming back on Monday because I feel great. And then I go, what do? I trip and fall, and I've wrecked I don't know if my elbow, if you can see it or not. If I can even get it under there. Yeah. It's not showing up much on the camera, but my elbow is like so bruised, so sore. My knee got twisted because as I was falling backwards, and all I could think of was if I hit the corner of that coffee table, it's going to split my head open. So I started twisting my body away from the coffee table as I was falling, and I twisted my knee. I twisted my foot, which, you know, my foot is nice and black and blue on both sides. I hurt my ankle, hurt my knee, hurt my hip, my elbow. My head hit the floor really hard. But the weird thing was, when I was falling, it seemed to take forever. It was like I was falling in slow motion. But when I did hit, I hit hard. You know, like everything hit hard, but yet it was like somebody was holding me so that I didn't go down too fast. Somebody was holding me and sort of lowering me down, and then the last minute just dropped me. You know, so it's weird, but saying it that way, but that's how it felt. So anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get any crafting done. I haven't done any crafting at all while I have been sick. I have been so sick, I couldn't craft at all. I couldn't do anything. The last thing that I made, if you go back, and I didn't do it on camera, I made it as I could because I was sick at that time, and that was in December. So basically, I have been sick since November of 2019. Flu-like symptoms started hitting me in December. It was really bad. And you know, like, things just kept happening. And then in February, I had this wicked sinus infection that the respirologist gave me this medication called 875-125, and it was like a amoxicillin kind of stuff, but it was really, really strong. And oh my God, that I never want to take that stuff again, but I had to take it because the problem was so bad. But that stuff gives you diarrhea so bad that every sip of water I took, I was back in the bathroom. And I pretty much stayed there because there was no sense. I just took a glass of water and my phone or my tablet or whatever and just sat there. You know, but then I get so tired, I needed sleep, and it was like, you know, you weren't getting sleep. Anyway, that was all part of the problem. So anyway, in the past, well, let's say 2 to 3 weeks, things that I ordered last year are starting to finally show up. I ordered all these laces from AliExpress. I absolutely love this one. Let me see if I can find that. There's the beginning. Oops. Look at how pretty that is. Wouldn't that be gorgeous in a journal or on a journal cover? Or I just love it. It's just so pretty. And there's little pearls. I think you can see them better on this one. Little pearls, 3 little pearls coming down here. And then the little flower. It's very, very pretty. It's almost like angel wings at the top up here. Little angel wings, and then it's got like a leaf or something there. But it's so pretty. And like when I saw it, I thought, well, is it, you know, it looks nice, but is it going to be cheap or is it going to be nice? And I thought, well, the only way you're going to find out is to order some. So I did. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's beautiful lace. It's well made. And then I found this one with the little flowers, and it's like one flower is pink, and the next one's white with a pearl, and then pink and white with a pearl. So I mean, they would be really nice accents, like on a pocket, or you know, even down, I don't know what they'd be like. Let's see. Oop, I'm out of camera, sorry, just a sec. Like down the spine of a journal. That's kind of pretty. I know it's all wonky, but it's just me holding it. Don't look in the camera, Lynn, you can't see. Okay, so I love that. That's pretty too. You know, I don't know. I still, people keep saying, okay, what kind of style do you have? It's like, I don't know. I just like things to be pretty, you know, like. And then I bought this one as well. Let's see if I can put it on. I'm not having much luck. Let's just keep this book here. This is a purple one, a purple book. This is a cream. This is a ecru color, like, and it's pretty. It'll be nice in journals as well. I really like that. As a matter of fact, we have some journal pages done in this one. So I mean, even, you know, like right there, that's pretty. Matches up, matches nicely. I wonder what this one. Let's try. Let's play. Haven't played in so long. Oh my God, it's been so long. I've missed it so much. Oh, isn't that pretty? Even just with 1 or 2 of those on there, it would be really pretty. That's nice. And since it is my pink Christmas. Oh yeah, I like that too. Oh God, this is going to be hard to choose now. Why did I do that? Now I've just confused myself even more. This is one of the journals that I started. It's an altered book that I started the end of November, beginning of December. I think it was the end of November that I started this. After watching Gail Agustinelli, I watched her and Roxy's creation, Rachel. I watched them a lot. I watch Shell and Clint at the Ramblin' Crafter. Had to think there. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a really pretty one. I'm glad I got an extra of that. But I mean, I had to, with everything that I was working on, I had to just stop, because it was like anything that was creative, I lost my mojo badly when I was sick, and I've had a really, really hard time to get it back, and it's still not quite back. But I thought, well, if I just hop on here today and, you know, show you some of this stuff. Maybe some ideas will start flooding back into my head, because my head's been just blank with being sick so much and having migraines like you wouldn't believe. Oh, that's one thing. I mean, they tell you COVID gives you migraines. They don't tell you how bad they are. They don't tell you about the stomach cramps that come with it, and just the body aches and pains, and the fight to breathe. I didn't go to the hospital. I did not want to. I did not want to be put on a machine and then die. So I decided that if I stayed home and I used my inhalers as much as I could live. I could fight it if I was in my own environment. And that's pretty much what I did. They keep telling me I had a mild case. If what I had was a mild case, I don't even want to know what a medium or hard case is like. Because this, what I had, I mean, my fever was 40.5 for a week, and I just felt delirious. You know, it was so high. I was burning up, and then the next thing I knew, I was freezing cold. And, you know, it is kind of like flu symptoms, but magnified, you know, so many times. And, you know, I still have a problem with my throat. From the COVID, my throat gets super dry, and if I talk, even my girlfriend notices it when we talk on the phone. She'll go, "I'm gonna let you go now because your throat's starting to go," and it does. It goes, gets all gravelly, and then the next thing I know, I have no voice. So I try to take it easy on that. This is another one I bought. I absolutely love this one. This is so pretty. And I mean, I don't have any pockets or anything in, well, this is a pocket, but that's, I mean, you could make this into a pocket. Come on, guys, stop arguing with me here. Do what you're told. Oh yeah, even two of those across the bottom would be really pretty. What else? I've only got like certain pages in here that are actually done, or not totally either, you know, but even just putting like one flower right there would be very pretty on that page, and then putting something else down here. This is not a pocket, this is just two different papers, and then this will get glued to this after I do that page. This one is, I think, sitting here to go onto this somehow. Yeah, see, I never got much done in this book, which surely is sad. It shouldn't have, you know, it should have been something that was quick and easy to do, sort of thing, but you know, I didn't. And this one's got like double pockets on it, on here. So, you know, I mean, but we'll get there. We'll get there, because I mean, it's July. Everybody's doing Christmas in July, so I feel like I'm right on time coming back, you know. This one, I don't know, I think I got about 5 meters of this one, and it's so pretty. Let me find, there's the right side. Must use this purple book's coming in handy, isn't it? Look at how pretty that is. Let's see if I can get it up to you. Isn't that gorgeous? I believe that's the right side. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the right side. But it's so pretty, and it would edge something so lovely. And then, now these I don't know what I'm going to do with, but I fell in love with them. And it's like, I think we're going to have to turn the book the other way. It's like off, you know, like wedding dress trim. God, I wish I'd kept my wedding dress. I just got rid of it about 5 years ago. But I had a wedding dress that was covered in appliques, and I was keeping it for my granddaughter, and then 5 years ago my whole family was, we became estranged, and so I sent it to Value Village and just let it go. I thought, I'm not carrying this around with me anymore. You know, like she was, my granddaughter was now in her 20s and she was pregnant. She, you know, so I just thought, no, I'm not carrying it around with me anymore. And I sent it to Value Village. I've regretted it a little bit, but especially with crafting, because I could have cut up my own wedding dress, and you know, it had the veil had stuff in it, and you know, it was very, very pretty dress. So I put all these fancy trims, put them into this box that I got for my birthday, and thought, oh well, that's a good idea. I can keep all my fancy trims in here. So that's what she's become. Now I'm going to sit that down there. And there's more. This has arrived. I haven't even dumped. I mean, I cut the top off, but I never took anything out of this. And the stuff, if it's not AliExpress, I'll tell you. But look at all the different beautiful colors of leaves instead of just green. They're all sorts of colors. There's, you know, the blue and the purple and orange, depending on what you're doing, and there's red, and then there's this red is, let's see, what would show this up really well. Well, this, let's see, it's like almost variegated, but it's almost like a burgundy and red, and you know, like down here it's really, really dark. It's kind of a pink, actually. It's a burgundy and pink color, and it's not showing properly on here, but it's beautiful. And then there's white and green, and then, you know, an olive green. There's fall flowers, or fall leaves here and here, and this red would be a fall, as you know, because these are the color of our leaves here when they start to turn. These are the colors we get, and they're beautiful. And then there's this blue, and I like, and it's kind of variegated, or you know, it's quite pretty too. I like that. So now I have, see, I haven't even, you know, thought, where am I going to put this stuff, you know, because I haven't put anything away. It's just all, when it came in the mail, it just all ended up on my table. And this morning I had to kind of clean up my table from last December, at least the working area part. So that you don't want to see the rest of my table, let me tell you, because it is just a mess. So I really like the leaves. I thought I had something, or I'm pretty sure I have something around here that has leaves. This is a die cut of a, where's your glasses? I thought I had the name of it here. Trying to think. It's almost like a shrubbery kind of leaf that you can use. I can't think of the name offhand. That's the other thing COVID does too. It's either that, or because I turned 65 on June 2nd, one or the other, but I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my words. This I ordered off Amazon. I think I ordered that right around the time I started this, so back in November, so you probably have seen that. This is a container for bobbins that I got off AliExpress. It's fairly cheap. So, and it's got all the bobbins in it. Hope you can see them. They're all universal, so they will fit any machine. I think it's got 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 25 of them in there. Can't remember if I showed this to you or not, but I ordered these two at the same time. I did finally find a sewing machine when I went over to Vancouver. Before all this stuff hit, I went over to see my stepdaughter, and we went to the Value Village over there, and I don't know what these are. Oh, these are little things from Christmas, off the Christmas crackers and the sayings that were in them and stuff. So the hostess sent them home. Oh, darn it, now you're going to rip one. I'll fix it. She sent them home with me. You can use these. Because she knows sort of what I do and that I use up recyclable stuff. So she's, and then while I was sick, I was always trolling the internet, and I finally found the whale tail punch. I was so happy when I found this, and as soon as I found it, and I ordered it from them, and this is how it punches out. I don't know if you can see these. Let's try this. They're like that, and then you fold them in the middle, and they fit over the edge of your page, and you glue them down, and you have a page. You know, you can turn your page easier. So I have been looking for that punch for a long time, so I was so thrilled to find it. So that was kind of like my Christmas present to myself, because I wasn't doing well. But I mean, it arrived months ago, but all this other stuff was ordered last year, and it's just starting to come. So I'm not sure if they held up all stuff from China, which I can see. This, oh, what's going on here? How did I get you all messed up? I need to get you in closer, and I can't. There, that's a little bit better. These little things, if I turn it sideways, you might, can you see right here? When I push this bottom piece, right there is a little piece that comes up, and it's a needle threader. And I thought, isn't that cute? Because I have had, you know, my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. This paper, I ordered this off Ali, and it's 2 of each one, but I like the color scheme of this, and whether I use it, you know, as a page cover or to make envelopes or whatever, or even pockets, whatever. I just love the colors of it, and so I thought, well, I'll order that, and this one's got the, and they're only, what are they? They are 6. By 7 3/4, not quite 8, but they just, the color scheme was really, really pretty. And here's Nico. Hasn't been up on, well, he has been up here. He's had the water bottle shaken at him a few times because he wanted to get into things. Want to say hello? You want to say hello? Say hello. Say hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Seems like the older Nico gets, the lighter he gets. I don't know. Either that or it's because the older Fred gets, the heavier Fred gets. And Nico is 13, going on 14 in September. He was born September the 11th. And Fred will be 3 on October 24th. And the size difference, I mean, everybody remembers little Fred, the little baby on the thing. Well, now Fred takes up the whole area. Fred's huge. He's a big boy. And then this is one that I really liked. Christmas designs. I thought they were quite pretty. And because it's got the pinks in it, I can still use it in my, pink Christmas. Mind you, the pink Christmas book so far has all been done with Stamperia. But Stamperia is done on both sides, so you have to choose your side. And I thought I need some papers to go with it that will complement it. And when I saw these, I thought that'll work. And so this can, work as pockets. I'm sitting here trying to think of the names of things, but like pockets and tags and cards and different things like that. And so I thought, oh, some of these will work really well in that pink Christmas journal. And so that's how come I got those ones. And it's funny, like, because it took so long to get here, it's like I don't remember, especially when this one came. It's like, I don't remember ordering that. So I had to go back and look at my orders and like, oh, sure enough, you did order it. But it just, like all this stuff. And this one, I mean, I ordered this ages and ages ago and just got it. I think this one came about maybe 3 weeks ago, something like that. And it's all papers, tags. Let's see. I just don't feel like we're in. If I trip that too much more, my whole shelf's gonna come down. There. Okay. So these are all Alice in Wonderland. And these look to be, I believe these are 8 by, yeah, these are 8 by 8. So they could make, like a small, not even a small, they could make a traveler's notebook. It wouldn't be like a great big one, but 8 by 8 is a good size. And what's this? Eat this, drink this. Oh, on and off. There we go. It's been a while. Bear with me while I get my bearings to this camera again, and I'm gonna have to, I think, straighten the thing out and then get it tipped down a little lower maybe. But yeah, and turn off the auto. Mind you, I'm not using my YouTube. Come down. Okay. my YouTube, and I'm not doing this live. I just went into camera to video today. The March Hare and the Hatter, little roses, keys, clocks, and the rabbit. I'm late, I'm so very, very late. And then the Queen of Hearts. Some of the parts of these could be very, very nice cut out. Like and then this one's got all the different teapots and stuff with it, so it's quite nice. I was pretty happy with it because I've been looking for some stuff for, I want to do an Alice in Wonderland themed journal, and Mona Stevens had sent me quite a lot of pieces of paper and things that she had found that were Alice in Wonderland, and then I thought, well, I need some colored stuff, so I started searching AliExpress for, and anywhere else I could think of, for the Alice in Wonderland, like a paper pack. Even if it was 12 by 12, I didn't care, but I managed to find one that was 8 by 8, so that's pretty good. Then another thing of, oh boy, that's really, we're gonna cut this last. This is a really skinny, tight elastic. Holy smokes. I will find another way to, unless I can get this off. There we go. Wow. Can't leave that laying around because my cat, Nico, he has this thing of elastics that he likes to play with them. And then I got this wider lace. Now I have no plans yet for any of these laces, but this one I really liked because, I mean, you can cut here and have a piece that's like a little fan. You can cut here and have another little piece that's like a backward C almost, and then there's little flowers in here that you can cut. Like, you could cut right down this middle piece and use that curvy piece like that. It's really, really pretty. It really caught my eye when I saw it, and I thought, oh, that'll be nice. So I grabbed that one. Now this is like a it's a ribbon. It's kind of, I can't think of the name, but it's pink, but it's very pretty, and it's just from the dollar store, or is it the Dollar Tree? No, Dollarama. But I thought, oh, that's kind of pretty, and because I was thinking pink at the time because of my pink journal, you know, like I say, these are all from before I got sick last year. And then this one, I like this one with the flowers, because they could be used in a lot of different ways. Come on, book. Yeah. Because you could use a row of them. You could use one. This one happens to have a cut. You could use it right at the edge of something, you know. So they're all quite nice. And here I have something from Kathy Edwards. I'm sorry, Kathy, it's taken me so long to video this. She sent this to me while I was sick. Oops, I gotta turn addresses over. This was a Happy Mail she sent me. I love that heart. And a tag that just says enjoy, and another heart. A couple different sizes of hearts, all sorts of hearts, you know, like And I thought, oh, that's so sweet. And I was feeling so sick the day I got it, and you know, was in so much pain. And when I opened it, it was like, oh, how sweet is that? You know, it made me feel so much, you know, like it brought some joy to me. Let's put it that way. That you know, even while I was that sick, that one of my subbies thought of me and sent something, and I was so happy. You know, and I had a very good sleep. But you know, like things that I've received, like I owe a lady, just excuse me, I just need to go over here. I was in a card swap that I had entered before I got super sick, and it was to send 3x3, 4 3x3 cards. This is what she sent me, and I still owe her 4 cards because like I said, since I've been sick, I have not crafted a thing, nothing. And now that I am, you know, moving around a little bit more, and you know, now I'm in the morning, like before it was like I hardly ate anything, but just felt so horribly sick all the time. And then once I started to feel better, I took down my what's it called now, the NutriBullet that I have, and started every morning. I have a cup of coffee because I can't start my day without a cup of coffee. But I'm starting to get to the point where I'm drinking a half a cup of coffee half the time. And then when I finish my coffee, and that's usually at about, I don't know, around 10 o'clock in the morning, I have been making fruit smoothies and having that, because I have been all my life the type of person who never ate breakfast. Never. I used to, when I was a teenager, I had anorexia. Not like most people think. I just didn't like to eat. And I didn't make myself sick or anything, but, you know, I'd get up in the morning and I would leave the house before my mom got up to go to school. And, you know, like I was the one in charge of making lunches every night. And so lunches were already all made. And, you know, I would just grab my lunch out of the fridge. And, you know, like when my brothers got to school, they'd go, "Where the hell were you this morning?" I said, "I just left early. I just wanted some time by myself." He goes, "Well, Mom's pretty pissed off." And I was like, "Why?" "Well, because you left before everybody got up. She was worried." And I was like, "I'm here," you know. And so I would either give my lunch away at school or throw it away, which was really bad now that I think of it, because what a waste, since I was the one who put all the work into making it. That was a silly thing to do. But I just didn't eat it, so I ended up with anorexia. And one day I passed out at the bus stop on the way to school, and 2 of my friends from school happened to be there, a girl and her boyfriend, and he picked me up and carried me home. And I didn't even wake up the whole time that he carried me home, which was like a 2-block walk. Well, 2.5 blocks, I guess. And they knocked on my door, and my mom opened the door, and I was still passed out. And he said she fainted at the bus stop. So they laid me on the couch, and I guess I started coming around a little later. My mom had booked an appointment with the doctor right away, and they took me into the doctor, and he told them that I was, what's the name now? See? That's what I mean. It's either the coronavirus or it's the 65, one or the other. Anyway, what was I? Anemic. That's the word I'm looking for. I was anemic. See, usually I'm on the phone with my girlfriend when this happens, and she's older than I am. She's 70, 2 or 3, and between the two of us, we can usually figure out the word that we're trying to find. Either that or we have to look it up in the internet. But anyway, I was badly anemic. So in order to stop that, especially since I turned 65, I made a smoothie one day, and I thought, oh, I remember doing this in the mornings. It was so good. Like, why did I ever stop? So I had pulled my blender down first and done it in the blender. And then I thought, well, that's stupid. I have the NutriBullet up there, and it's faster and it's quieter. So I totally cleaned up the blender again and took down the NutriBullet, and have been using that every morning. And what I do is I go to the grocery store. I buy all the fruits that I want to have in smoothies over, a couple week period, basically. Like, I'll buy strawberries and bananas, green grapes, even purple grapes, oranges, mangoes, pineapple. What else do I put in them? I don't know, there's so many different fruits. Oh, and blueberries. And then I take lunch bags that I've had, and I'll put a cup of fruit, and I freeze everything first. I spend a few hours, and I'll hull and cut all the strawberries up, put them in a fairly big size container that I have that's flat in the bottom, and I cut the strawberries all up so that they're like in half or in quarter if I need them to fit into a certain spot, so that they're all flat on the bottom of that container, and I stick them into my fridge freezer and let them freeze. And then I'll take, the last time I bought a cored pineapple, which is something I don't usually do. I usually buy a whole pineapple and then core it myself. But it was like $6 for a pineapple, where they're usually, anywhere from $2.50 to $3.50. And I thought, I'm not paying $6 something for a pineapple. Well, the last time I went, they had pre-cored pineapples in containers, and they were $3.59. And it was the whole pineapple just cored and, stuck into a thing. So I grabbed that, and before that, I had cans of pineapple rings, and I would take the pineapple rings out, put them on a cutting sheet, cut them into little square pieces, and with the juice that was in the can, I put them into an ice cube tray, and froze it. And when I made the first one I did was an orange and pineapple with the canned pineapple, and then I put one of the ice cubes in it, and oh my God, was it good. And then I've done pineapple and mango, and orange and mango, and orange and pineapple and mango, and I've gotten to the point where I'm just mixing all the different fruits all together, so that there's, the one I had this morning was banana, strawberry, orange, and what else was in it? Banana, strawberry, orange, and green grapes. And it was so good. And I have to tell you, Nico is a smoothie freak, because Nico loves fruit of any kind. So if it's all blended up like that, he just thinks it's for him. So I have a straw I bought off of Amazon a couple of weeks ago, and it came on Saturday just as I was getting ready to make the smoothie, and I was like, right. So I washed out one of the straws. I still have the others to wash out yet and put into something. And so now I have a straw, and it's much nicer to drink it out of a straw, but I didn't want paper or cardboard or anything. These are glass straws, and it's so nice. So this morning I'm trying to drink my smoothie, and Nico wanders onto my lap, and he does that normally, so I didn't think anything of it. And I was reading something on the computer, So I wasn't paying much attention, and then all of a sudden I went to move my smoothie, and his paw stopped me. And I looked down, and he drank down about that much of the smoothie out of the top of the glass because I hadn't been paying attention. He just kept drinking. And I was like, you little fart. But, there was no stopping him. So I have a straw, and he just drinks what he wants. And fruit's good for male cats, in case anyone doesn't know. Years ago, I had a cat who had he had crystals. And the vet said, does he like fruit? And I said, yeah, he loves fruit, because he liked, cantaloupe, and he liked watermelon, and that's something I need to get to try in a smoothie is watermelon. Sorry, I digress. Squirrel. Anyway, so what I had to do was I had to take fruit and cut it up and blend it. And I'd put it in a bowl and put it down where his food was, and he'd go over to it and he wanted it, but he'd sit there and look at me. And I'm like, well, what? You like fruit? Go ahead and drink it. And then he'd walk away, and it's like, I need to get this into him, so I've got to do something, right? So I grabbed a soup spoon, and I went into the front room where he was, and I sat down on the floor, and I had the bowl of the fruit, and I put it in the spoon, and he walked over and started to eat it. And I thought, you spoiled little fart. And I had to sit there and feed him spoonful by spoonful the fruit. But within a couple of weeks, he was better, because and like they say, the more acidic the fruit, the better. So I was able to put lemons in it and blend that, and oranges, which are acidic, limes, and it was like the cantaloupe and all that other stuff sort of blended in, so he didn't, mind you, he loved oranges, like Nico. Nico's the same way. If I peel an orange, Nico's right there. And, you just got to hold a section of the orange in one hand for him, and he eats the whole thing. He'll eat 2 or 3 sections of an orange because he just loves them. He's been that way since he was 8 weeks old. Fred, on the other hand, is a vegetable guy. Fred likes peas, and he likes carrots, and he likes his meat. But yeah, he's more into vegetables than fruit, although with the smoothies, Fred will have some of the smoothie. If I put it on my finger and then go to give it to him, he'll lick it off my finger, and he'll sit there as long as I keep doing it. And I did it the other day with a strawberry banana one, and he was right into it, right, just enjoying it. And then I stopped, and then he pulled on my hand like, hey, come on, where's the next one? So I had to give him some more, but he won't drink it out of the glass. He won't touch it. And as long as I give it to him on my finger, then he'll have it. So it's one way of getting some fruit into him, so it helps to stop him from getting crystals as well. So I know we didn't get any crafting done. We're almost at an hour here. I do have all these postcard bases. When I wasn't really sick, like almost at death's door kind of thing, I was cutting things out. A couple days ago, well, a few days ago, since I have been really sick, silver threads, as soon as I turned 65, all this shit started happening. At 64, the government sent me a letter saying, why haven't you applied for your old age security? And I'm like, I didn't think about it. So anyway, they sent me the forms to fill out. I filled them all out, sent them back. They sent me a letter back saying, you qualify for old age security and GIC, and your first check will be in July. Well, it's July. I turned 65 on June 2nd. We're now into almost the end of July. Haven't seen a damn thing. So I don't know how they work it. Anyway, with the silver threads, I think it's a program that Trudeau started. I don't know, but one of my girlfriends put my name into it because I was so ill and I wasn't cooking and eating and things, and they deliver meals, 3 meals a week to me, and vegetables and fruits and bread come in these packages, and it's been a godsend. It really has, because at first, I mean, I didn't have the energy to stand at the stove and cook. I was so weak from being sick for so long. And one of the things that came in one of the packages that they sent me was purple cauliflower. And I thought, oh, I wonder what color that would be in paper, like if I dyed it. I mean, I did eat the cauliflower. Nothing went to waste, so, you know, don't get upset. So these are some of the ones. This one was done from a small turnip that was in, and I cooked the turnip, and I put the peels in with the turnip, and that's what I got. And it's almost like coffee dye or tea dye, but it's turnip. These ones are the this one's kind of like gotten extra heat on it, but these are from the cauliflower. Look at that beautiful color. I don't know how well the color, I don't even have a light on in here, so, but it's bright in my place. But they have, and this is another one that was with the turnip. This one here is cauliflower and turnip, and look at this one. Look at this one. I love this one. This is so cool. Now, I don't know why it ended up with a line down the side or anything, but I just thought, and then on the opposite side it's even darker, so this must be the right side of the paper, I guess. And the same with this one, and it came out like this. I just love them. And then this is cauliflower again. This is more turnip. They didn't come out quite so dark. I think it was towards the end of the water that the liquid that I had for them that came out. And this is cauliflower. This is turnip. And this one is just cauliflower again. So I'll have to put a paper clip on those after. And then in here, this was the second try. This was my first try at it, where I had extra, like I had a bigger piece and had used more water, and they came out really well. They came out with the pattern on the pan, and like I every time I go into a dollar store, I look for pans with those little aluminum pans with different patterns on them, and this one has this little pattern in a circle. Some of them didn't even pick up the pattern, which was, well, they picked up part of it, I guess. And but they all came out so different, so neat. And I love the color, like there's some of them in here where, I don't know if you can, some of them come out with like a pinkish color. I love this one. I don't know how that happened. I wish I did, because I love it. It looks cool. And there are a few, most of them are like a blue color. This one's kind of a greenish color, and so is this one, kind of greenish. And this one's kind of a little green and blue. This one, I don't know, maybe just stayed in the oven too long, or else we're at the end of our water, or liquid again. Yeah. And then there's these two. They were like towards the end. Maybe that's about when I put in traded to the other water. I'll bet it is. Yeah, that's when I traded to the water from there. So, but it was, you know, that's the only crafty thing I did the whole time, was doing that. So now I've got a bunch of papers that are pretty cool. I really like them. And what else do I have that I wanted? Oh, and then I was gifted this. Oh, these were paper bags that I had gotten off Amazon. I was gifted this by the sweetest young lady. She, when I had to have my heart surgery, she took me to the hospital and picked me up from the hospital and brought me home. And then that night, I'm laying on the couch and she comes and brings me dinner. I was like, oh, that's so, how sweet. And I mean, she brought me dinner enough for 4 days, and so that I wouldn't have to cook. And because I had, you know, the needle site, I wasn't allowed to take the pressure bandages off of anything for, I think it was 48 hours. And when I came home, they had the pressure bandage here, crisscrossed on top of a pad of cotton that was about, I don't know, about that high, and it was taped down so tight. While I was in the hospital, I actually had a clamp on it, which made it even tighter, but it was to stop the blood because of, you know, the amount of blood thinners that I take, plus they made me take more before I had it done. And then they put my arm in a sling to keep it. They had never done that before, but they didn't want my arm to be hanging down. They wanted it up. Well, when I got home, Nico did not like the sling. I mean, he's a therapy cat, but he was very upset that that thing was on my arm, around my neck. He thought it was hurting me. And I mean, I took my arm out so that he could see it, and I said, Nico, it's okay. Mom's okay. I'm just resting my arm in here. And no matter what, he just kept pulling and pulling at that thing. And I finally had to say to him, Nico, no, and give him a tap on the nose. And then he just sat and he had these, like, if looks could kill eyes, you know, I'd be dead. And then when I was allowed to take the sling off, he discovered the tape underneath with the thing, which I still wasn't allowed to take off. And he did not like that, because he thought that was hurting me, which it was, but I wasn't going to tell him that. And he kept trying to pull the tape off to get it off me. And I said, no, Nico, Mommy has to have that on. You leave it alone. Don't touch. So he would just sit beside me, but he kept looking at it all the time. And finally, when I was allowed to take it off, I started to take it off, and he sat there watching me. And I got, you know, like one piece of it here, I got it off. And he started to grab it to pull it. I was like, no, you let Mommy do that. So I got it all off, and he sniffed at my arm, made sure everything was okay, and then he went to bed as soon as that was off me. But for two days, he wouldn't leave me alone. Anyway, this beautiful young lady, who is the most talented wedding designer, brought me this lace, and I was like, oh my God, that's so pretty. I mean, just look at how you could cut this out in different shapes, and, you know, you could use it to, you know, like this, to cover a book. You know, you could cover a whole book with this. It's so pretty. And there's a ton of it here. And what else did she bring me? Oh, she brought me this pink lace. It's stretchy. No. It's a pink trim, which is very pretty. And then she brought me this couple of other laces. They're like antique laces. Oh, they're so, so pretty. Put that one there for a minute. This one, I think she said that she had these antique laces, and I think she said that she found them when she went home on her trip to Winnipeg, and she bought them. So she brought me some pieces of it, and oh, it's gorgeous. You know, it's really, really pretty. That'll look gorgeous in an album. And this little one here, well, it's not little, but it's a little bit narrower. Oh, have I got it the right side or the wrong side? The wrong side. Okay. There. Look at how pretty that is. Isn't that just gorgeous? And then there's this one, which is pretty as well. I love them. I love the colors of them too. And this one is so, I mean, it almost looks like it's been tea dyed, but it's the age. I mean, it's just, no. Oh, that's the bottom, okay. Or is it? That one's hard to tell. And then there's this. Now I can't get back here. I can't really, I mean, because this is cut like this, I don't know if she cut that like that or not, but to me, that looks, no, I think it goes the other way. It's hard to tell. It looks like you could, you know, really, it looks like you could use it either way, this way. But maybe if I put my glasses on, I'll be able to tell which is the right side. Oh, that's the wrong side. Yeah, I think it goes this way. Because there's the bias up there. And she may have, what she may have done is cut out this part here like this, and that's how this came about. But isn't that gorgeous? So, so pretty. And it's, you know, one thing that I don't have a lot of is antique laces and laces, and that's why I started buying some on AliExpress, and you know, just getting a few that I really liked. And but when I feel safe enough to go out again, I would like to go to some, you know, estate sales and whatnot, see what's out there. Oh, what else did she bring? I forgot. There's more stuff in here. There's beads. I love those things. They go with everything. Oh, and some purple gauze. Not gauze. Tulle. Purple tulle. And let's open this up. Oh, and all these little, look at this gorgeous thing. Isn't that beautiful? Let's see if I can get it up to you. Yeah, that is pretty. And look at it on the lace. Put it on the lace and gorgeous, gorgeous. What else has she got in here? Oh, and that's so pretty. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? And it's a little, it's a bracelet. That's pretty. That would be pretty as a charm down the side of a book. It's got like a circle in a frame and then a butterfly all the way down. That's very pretty. They almost, just flipping your glasses on and off. No, they don't quite match up, but they're close. And what have we got here? Oh, this is cute. A gold leaf. That's pretty. Oh, and what the heck is this one? This looks like a ring made from a, like, almost like a watch strap with a circle on top. Let's see. It's got a circle on top with two little birds. Isn't that cute? And then the back, it looks like a watch strap, but it's actually a ring. Fits too. That's neat. I've never seen that before. I never got to really, you know, after the heart surgery. I mean, that's the day she gave me all this, was the heart surgery, and we kind of looked through it. She showed me what was in it, kind of, but I was still doped up. But was very happy with it. And we have here, see how my desk has gotten down to no room at all, and yet we have Nico now. Coming up. Mommy's playing with plastic. We gotta see what it is. Oh, and here's another one. Oh, this is a necklace or bracelet. Oh no, that's like a necklace to go with that bracelet. Isn't that pretty? That's cute. Or is it? No, it's a bracelet too. One way to find out. Let's take her out. No, it's a bracelet too. And it's got a different color butterfly in it. And it starts with butterfly and then goes to this, and then, how sweet. These are going to be fun to play with. There's a and then there's some more pearls. What are these? Pink mix rose accessories. Oh, little beads. And there's some more pink ones. Oh, and then these big beads. Oh, look at that. Wow. How does that, oh, this. This will just come like that. And, oh, I'm over here, sorry. There's this. Those are such a pretty color. Like, see, they're showing white, but they're not. They're almost like, let's see if I can do anything to, yeah, there. That's a bit better. Beautiful color. And then some more beads. And, ooh, those are pretty. Those are really pretty. That would be pretty on a journal. And more beads. And these ones are, what are they? Oh, they kind of look like a little top. Those are pretty. So, thank you so much, Tricia. Never realized all the stuff that was in here with being sick for so long. Wow. Nice gift. The beautiful laces and other stuff. So, now we gotta find. This is probably going to end up in the box with the nice lace. And these are paper treat bags. I must have bought those at a dollar store before I got sick, because I don't remember. Like I said, it's either the COVID or it's the 65 that's taken away my memory. My girlfriend keeps telling me, oh, it's just because you got old. You get old and then you lose everything. And she said the older you get, the more it happens. So she said you still have lots to look forward to. And I'm like, oh, thanks very much. You know, like, it was wonderful of you to tell me that. Now this. Oh, this is from my stepdad. Oh, he was an amazing, amazing man. I loved him so much. This is him as a baby and his dad. And that's his mom. It's in there. He's so cute. That's 1922. It's his sister in 1932. And a dog named Tiny, and this is my dad here. 1921. He was born in 1920 on Easter Day. And that's him and his dad in 1920. Oh, the cat's name is Bolo, and that's his mother. Oh, look at the cars. I should scan some of these and use them. School picnic, 1931. That's pretty cool. That's my dad there. And that's his dad. And that's his dad and his mother, whose name is Florence. It's so funny to look back on him as a little boy, you know, and just think of what an incredible man he grew up to be. You know, he was a wonderful person. He was an RCMP officer. And then when he retired from, well, he started out in the Navy. No, he started out in the RCMP, and then when war broke out, they needed Navy, and under the old apple tree. Now that's too funny, because we always called my dad Johnny Appleseed or Wesley Appleseed, because wherever he went, he was stealing trimmings off people's plants and trees, and he would grow them. He had the most incredible green thumb. It was insane. Like, he could grow anything. And this is in Haileybury, Ontario. My dad was in Haileybury when the Haileybury fire occurred and burnt the whole town down. And they all had to stand in the lake while the town burnt down. And my dad was only, was he 2? I think, when it happened. I have the documents around here someplace. And he actually got a certificate as being one of the survivors of the Haileybury fire, because it was a devastating fire. But by all of them running into the lake and standing in the lake as far as they could go, they all survived that way, which is an amazing, amazing thing. Anyway, I can feel that my voice is starting to go. I have now gotten this stuff out of my way, and and the next time I come back on, I can't promise to be on every day right at this point in time, because I mean, it might seem like I'm 100% better, but I'm not. There's some days where it still just knocks me right down, and I don't know when it's going to happen. It just does. But I am going to try to come on as much as I can now, get my channel back up and going, because it's been, well, I know December was the last time I actually posted anything, and even then, I mean, all I did was do a flip through of the traveler's notebooks that I had done for my 3 friends at Christmas, and they all loved them, by the way, and everybody won a little bit of money, so it was fun. We all had a good time, and but that's the last time, like, when I looked and I thought, oh my god, it's been that long. And I'm amazed that it's, you know, you guys have stuck by me, and I can't thank you enough for, you know, just being there, staying in touch, posting things. I know I even let the Facebook group go there for a while, because I could not do anything. It was hard for me to, I didn't know what day was what. I mean, that was really tough. And there's times now when I still don't, because, well, like I said earlier, while people and the government keep saying that they're in phase 3, I'm not even in phase 1. That's how scared this disease is to me, because of having gone through what I did. I don't want to get it again. I'm at the point now where I feel okay enough to go to the grocery store, get what I need, but it's like I'm in, get what I need, and I have a list, and I know exactly where in the store everything is. I go in, I get what I need because it's on the list, and I get to a till and leave, and get back in my car and come home. That's the phase I'm in. I don't know if I'm going to come out of that phase. I don't know. Even, you know, like going out to the garbage takes me, it's almost like I've developed agoraphobia. And I've had agoraphobia before, so I know what it's like. And I feel safer inside my house than I do anywhere. I have gotten to the point where, in order to save myself from having to go out too often, I have started ordering my cat food, wet and dry, treats, and cat litter from Amazon on a monthly basis. Like, it's set up so that it's delivered every month, because I do not want to go outside if I don't have. I mean, I went for a walk and I thoroughly enjoyed it because there was nobody around, but I still had a mask on. When I could see absolutely no people, I would pull the mask down and breathe the fresh air. As soon as I saw somebody, the mask went back on. But I can't even go for a walk without a walker now, because I became so weakened by this COVID-19, because you don't move much when you have that, because you can't. You know, you become super dehydrated, and no matter how much you try not to become dehydrated, you do. And so I'm happy just sticking it out at home. And you know, and with my lung condition, I don't like taking chances, you know, because no goddamn way I want to be back in that hospital for anything, you know, like, because that's where I got it from to start with. So, you know, I don't want to go back there unless it's absolutely necessary. So, but I hope none of you get it, and I hope you've all been healthy. I really hope you have been. Should have asked you that at the beginning, how you were all doing. And I mean, I've been watching most of you on YouTube, because there really wasn't much else I could do except lay on the couch and watch TV or watch YouTube or pretty much whatever. Like, I would sit up and have my coffee or tea in the morning, whichever I decided on. Now it's like I have a cup of coffee. Sometimes I get to the point where I really don't want the coffee anymore, so I dump it down the sink, blend my smoothie, and sit and drink the smoothie. And then it seems, you know, with the amount of pills and everything that they have me on, the one that helps the most is the one that helps me breathe, and that's given me back a lot of my life, because, you know, without that one pill, I couldn't breathe. And it was like, what's the point? You know, I have no quality of life, and all you're doing is giving me quantity by doing this, you know. And that's what I said to them, to both doctors. I have no quality of life anymore, so what's the point in going on? You know, and I guess that's when they realized it's time to make a change, and they allowed me to keep taking that 5 milligrams, and boy, has it made a world of difference in my life. It's like I get better and better every day, you know, and I breathe better every day. I don't have to use my inhalers as much. Yesterday, I thought, well, you shouldn't not use your inhalers. You should at least take them, you know, in the morning and at night. Like, you know, that was the original thing. So yesterday I did use both inhalers in the morning, and then I ended up shaking all day. So it was like my hands were vibrating and my neck was vibrating, and it's like, oh, this is insane, you know, like I'm not doing that again. So I'm not using my inhalers. I may use the Ventolin if I need it today, but I'm finding out now that with this one pill, I'm not needing so much of the inhalers, which is so much better for me. But I think that I will stop stop the steroid one and just use the Ventolin, because it's not steroid. So I may do that. Anyway, did you come to say goodbye? Did you? Huh? Did you come to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye up there? Who's up there? Nico, what's that? What's that? No, he's not gonna fall for it. Yesterday we woke up to chainsaws at 9 o'clock in the morning, and looked out the window in the afternoon to see what they had done, and there was a little tiny baby fawn with all the little white dots and everything on them, and the mama deer was there, and Nico and Fred were in the window, and the mama deer came right up to the window, and my window's open, you know, about that much, because there's no screen on it, and I don't want my cats getting outside. And so she came up right to the window, right where I was, and I was going, hi, Mama. And she just, you know, her nose was almost touching the window, and her eyes were so big and beautiful. And the baby had walked down a little bit, and he was eating, and he was like outside my neighbor's window by that time. And the fawn just, you know, had had enough, I guess, and just like curled up in a little ball and went to sleep. So the mama went right down to where the baby was, and, you know, she laid down and she was protecting it. So it was so cute, though. I love baby fawns. They're adorable. Anyway, I am going to wish you all healthy, healthy blessings. I hope and pray that none of you get this COVID-19. And I hope you don't, you know, just blow it off like, you know, like it's nothing, because believe me, it's not nothing. And if I can be a warning to anybody, it's like, if you have to do something, do it as fast as you can with a mask on. If you have to wear gloves, wear gloves. But one of the things I've discovered is wearing gloves in a grocery store really isn't helping you a lot, because no matter what you touch, you would have to have a box of gloves with you so that you could strip off each pair of gloves after touching one thing. And, you know, that's just insane. But do wear a mask, please. You know, medical grade, or, you know, one made by a friend or whatever. I mean, I could have, you know, if I had been better, I could have been making masks, because I was a seamstress for 30 years. I could have whipped up hundreds of them, but I wasn't well enough to sit here and sew. But I did buy one from Marina, I think it's Marina's Creations, and it's cute. It's all cats, but my girlfriends, two of my girlfriends and I bought one for the three of us. And the one thing that we have found, Marina, is that the elastic is too short, and it pulls on the ears at the back. So I'm going to take it apart where the elastic is and put some longer elastic in there, so it doesn't hurt so much. But I also have medical grade ones, because my pharmacy that delivers my medications knows that I had COVID-19, and they sent me 3 N95 masks. So I have those, plus I get them from my doctor all the time. Every time I walk into my doctor's office, you know, I'll wear Marina's mask or something, and they're like, oh, that's so cute, but you have to take it off. We have to have you wear one of ours. And I'm like, that's fine. And if a store says to me masks are required, it's like, no problem, I'm just putting it on, you know. And when I see people in the store that aren't wearing masks, it's like, you guys, you got to smarten up, because this thing is real. You know, it is not a joke, and you really don't want to get it. Anyway, enough of that. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. And I will see you again, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what I get up to here. Fred's sound asleep somewhere, so he isn't even coming up, but Nico's here. Say hi, Nico. Anyway, stay safe, stay healthy, and don't forget that creative clutter is way better than idle neatness. And let me tell you, I have had creative clutter all over the place lately. It's nice to have this cleaned up, at least on this part. So I will get the rest cleaned off now, and the other stuff put away, and then we'll be good to go. So I will see you again, and I promise you it will not be 4 or 5 months before I see you. It'll be in the next day or so. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and please, I can't say it enough, please stay healthy.